The handball shot off the post, score!
They're trying to kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
They're trying to kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
They're trying to kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
They're trying to kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
They're trying to kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
They're trying to kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
They're trying to kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First try kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First try kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First try kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First try kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First try kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First try kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First try kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
in, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Comes in, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the broadcast booth here from Smithfield Municipal Ice Rink in Smithfield, Rhode Island. More Division I high school hockey matchups going on in the state of Rhode Island. Tonight's matchup between the Smithfield Sentinels and the Bishop Hendricken Hawks. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Chris Heatu, taking you through the plays tonight. Once again, between the Smithfield Sentinels and the Bishop Hendricken Hawks. So a lot to talk about between these two teams. Smithfield really looking to get itself back in the playoff race. Backs to the walls at this point as we hit the midway point of the Division I hockey season. This team we thought that would be a powerhouse this year has gone through a lot of blues and woes this season, managing to pick up a win, though, last week, this week actually, on Monday, against Moses Brown right here in Smithfield. Final score of the game, 3-0. It was the biggest win that the Smithfield Sentinels had, and their first win in a while, so they look to get back in the win column. For the Hawks, a 10-1 win over North Kingstown. And then, if you look back here in the schedule real quick, they defeated Moses Brown yesterday. Final score was 5-0. So after tying against LaSalle a few weeks ago, this team is finding itself back in full stride and looking to get another win, their third straight, hopefully, for them. So both sides have concluded their warm-ups, and in just a moment we will be able to announce the starting lineups for tonight's matchup, once again between the Smithfield Sentinels and the Bishop Hendricken Hawks. And so we'll direct our attention to the right-hand side of the floor as we announce the starters for the Bishop Hendricken Hawks. Starting off, Griffin Crane, the 4 of Andrew Smith, the 9 of Will Kavanaugh, the 24 of Aiden Penacchini as they're flying through these starters, and the 27 of Giancarlo Carli, and in net tonight, the 35 of Braden Nabis. So now we'll look over towards the left-hand side at the home the home team, the Smithfield Sentinels, the 7 of Cody Van Gordon. Matthew Payne, the 24 of Matt Payne. Number 9, Chase Rinker. The 20 of Jacob Hopkins. The 28 of Dominic Pasha. And in net tonight, number 35, Matt Bradley. So with that, we'll take a moment to honor America for the playing of our national anthem. And with that slap of the sticks on the ice, that means we are all set and ready to go from Smithfield Municipal Ice Rink. But before we get going with the broadcast, we'll get the word from tonight's game sponsors. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Joseph Lammy, 696 Reservoir Ave in Cranston, Rhode Island. For consultation and information, visit josephlammy.com. Joseph Lammy, attorney at law. And then by RR Elite Recruits, with access to 3,000 schools and 80,000 coaches across 38 NCAA sports. For high school athletes looking to play at the next level, be seen by going to RR Elite Recruits. Visit www.rreliterecruits.com to sign up for more information. So the Hawks opt to go with Braden Nubis, the backup goaltender behind Colin Murray. In tonight's showcase, once again, Matt Bradley taking on the starting duties for the Sentinels. Had his second shutout of the season, his first one, well, actually his first shutout. He would have had a shutout in week 1 against Prout. That game ended in a 4-1 win. However, a 3-0 shutout for Matt Bradley. That's nothing short of an achievement right there. But we are about to hit center ice. And we are ready to go from Smithfield. We are underway, and taking the possession are the Hawks as they win the faceoff. The pass that time to Smith, and at center we'll get an immediate stoppage of play as the puck hits the ceiling of the barn. And so we'll face off again at center. Payne with the dump in. And a whistle called for icing. So just like that, 2 quick stoppages. We haven't really seen anything get going, as we've only gotten 16 seconds into this one. Still waiting for both sides to really showcase something. And Payne clears it quickly for Smithfield. We might end up back in our own end once again, but there it is. The whistle calls the play dead as Chase Rinker tried to stop the puck before it crossed the red line, and we'll do it all over again. A puck out of play and back-to-back icings. And we're already off to a very rough start. Yet to see our first official sequence in motion. Might get a chance here. A shot downhill coming from Penachini. And this one wrapping around the backside of the cage of Bradley. Crane has the puck trapped against the boards, and Kavanaugh will shepherd it. Kavanaugh behind the back to Crane. Crane with a couple of defenders, and right there who was waiting for was Hopkins. Poked back up to the point this time as it's sent down from Grislis. Crane, this shot over the top of the net. It will go back to the left side. Stopped before it went out of the zone. Crane with some help from Ferreira. And back to the near. And we're going to get a penalty called, delayed penalty. And this one is going to be charged against Smithfield. A trip going to be called against the 20 of Jacob Hopkins. He'll hit the penalty box for a minor for tripping. And so Bishop Hendricken will end up on the power play for the first time tonight in the Smithfield zone. Sentinels clear the puck back to center. And a missed pass there. Rinker trying to chase it down quickly. Goff. Goff with the possession behind the net. It's eventually poked away from Owen Carter. Penachini. In the zone and a whistle. Offside's going to be the call. That time it was the 19 of Nicholas Regine. Tried to bring the puck across when it already crossed. So we'll face off back at center with 1:37 to go on the penalty. Sentinels take the win, and they'll dump it away. It's James Sylvester with the clear. And the power play unit will try again. Andrew Smith with the pass up ice that time to Nate Marshall. Marshall in the zone as he's checked into the boards. It's poked back into play. A shot taken, bouncing off the defenders. And it'll be scooped up there by Jacob Boudreau, and he'll clear the puck for Smithfield. Minute to go on the penalty. Hendricken doing everything it can to get this power play going. Marshall treks into the zone with the dump in. Wrapped around that time for Hughes. At the top of the zone, Smith. This puck deflected out of play. So we get our first shot on goal of the night, taken by Bishop Hendricken with 12:39 to go in the first period and 47 seconds to go on this penalty. Smithfield trying to hang on, but a chance for Crane and the Hawks. This shot knocked down as Regine took a chance, and this one poked back up to center. Crane over to Pennicchini. Pennicchini leading Kavanaugh. Will Kavanaugh crosses the plane onside as he was corralled in the slot, and it'll come back to center. Crane to clear it. 20 seconds to go. Crane trying to maneuver in as he gets tied up. Pennicchini with the assist, and we get a whistle with 13 seconds left to go on the power play. And the Hawks get called for offsides. And so we'll face off in neutral ice. Smithfield back to the near boards, trying to clear it with not much time left. This shot over the top from Smith, as it was a little wide of the goal. And Smithfield now back to full strength. Hawks trying to make something happen quickly. Steve Nardelli behind the net. Nardelli up to the top to Tillinghast. And Tillinghast is pushed out of the zone that time by the aid of Thomas Hayden. Smith, that time to Tillinghast. Back to Smith. Smith uphill. That time to Nardelli. Nardelli getting tied up in the zone. And at the top for Smith. He'll dump it back in. Wrapped around for Regine to make a play. Nick Regine has the defense swarming, and that time Rinker will come in and clean up. Rinker through center. It's 1 against 5 as the Hawks surround him, and they'll take possession of the puck. Sent uphill by Nardelli and wrapped around back in the opposite direction, and icing the call on the floor. 11 minutes to go in this first period, and only one shot on net to account so far. Hawks are applying pressure early. Back in the action on the near side. Taken up ice by Smithfield, but it's flipped back in off of Grislis. And taken away by Matt Payne. Payne allowing Boudreau some space to work with and trying to give it back up to Payne. It's poked off the stick of Hughes. The Hawks swarming the zone quickly to keep the offensive play alive. A shot taken at Bradley. It's deflected away and sent back to center for Boudreau until Marshall comes in with the dump in. Wrapped around back the other way as Van Gordon sent it off the backhand. And now to center. A little tied up. So that time it's the 27 of Gianno Maiello. And going back in the opposite direction. Crane through center. Puck's poked away from him that time. And now a good move for Boudreau. Jacob Boudreau with a nice deke. And the shot couldn't leave his stick. Goff to try again at the top of the zone for Lombardi. That time coming down from Sylvester. In that near side corner, Goff trying to capture the puck, and Smith back to the near side boards. And it's sent back up to center, this time for the 27 of Giancarlo Calari as it's poked away for another shot for the Hawks. Goff through center. Goff. The puck poked away, and we're going to get a whistle for offsides. 9:25 to go. We're still knotted up at 0 apiece. Smithfield still looking for its first shot on goal of the night. Off the face-off. Sent back the other way for Smith. Up to center. And dumped in. Taken away by Giuliano. At center. dumped back in that time. Smith sending it up ice. Payne intercepts for Smithfield as he brings it in into the corner. Wrapped around the backside as Giuliano sends it back up, and it's shepherded through center by Aiden Ferreira. It's intercepted at center by Rinker, and that time that was Hopkins to feed it the opposite direction. No icing to be called on the floor as the Hawks touched the puck last, and a line change was coming. LaRose, John LaRose getting a little tangled up that time as Tom Hayden came into play. And around the back, a backhand right at Bradley, and it's saved. As that time Carrera tried to take a chance. Through center, Hawkins, Will Hawkins takes a chance. Mercurial was there, but the defense right in front. At center, sent back the opposite way. Bradley shuffling it off for Hayden to take. Tom Hayden up towards center for Hawkins, getting tied up and taken away by Owen Carter. Goff trying to get in first. Goff, the puck in the air, and it hits back to the floor. Goff trying to take the chance, didn't have enough separation. Anthony Mercurio keeping it into the zone. He shuffles it to the far side for Hopkins. With Carter on top of him, the Hawks take it away. Kavanaugh over to Crane. Crane, cross ice. And that time, Kalari got a little tangled up, and he fell to the floor. Penachini will dump it in for the Hawks. Bradley stopping it behind the net. Cuts back to the near side. Coming into the slot was Regine, but he was slowed down and stopped at a halt. Regine will try again from center. Off the dump in, Bradley stopping it for Matt Payne. Using those backboards to get it to Rinker. Smithfield taking it behind the goal for Pasha. Up to Rinker at center. Rinker sending it back to Payne as he was nearly checked into the penalty box. Boudreau with the feed back to Payne. He's checked hard into the boards that time off of Grislis. Bradley to stop the puck behind the net. Boscia with it here with the feed. Marshall was right there, Grislis. And it's cleared back to center as it's dumped in again by Smith. Hawks are keeping the pressure on in this first period. Not a lot of shots on goal to be seen so far. A crosser there from Nardelli. And now back on these near side boards. Back and forth as it's displaced, and it's finally brought up that time by Sylvester. Sylvester sends one right on net, and we get a whistle to stop play with 5:59 to go. So we'll face off at neutral ice. Or in the Hawks territory. Nabis hasn't had a lot of pressure in his face tonight so far. He had an early one. But a penalty charged against the Hawks will send Griffin Crane for 2 minutes. And so the Sentinels will get their first power play of the game. Off the draw at the top of the zone for Rinker. Back to Rinker, and it escaped his clutches off the pass. And Smithfield will try again. Mercurio, a little bit of a lead for him as it wraps around the boards that time. Over to Hawkins. Hawkins needing some assistance from Goff. Goff poking it to Mercurio. Behind the cage. Sending it up to the slot for Rinker. Shot, score! A power play goal for the Sentinels. Chase Rinker lights the lamp first in this one. And the Sentinels take a 1-0 lead. Wow, off to a hot start. Down a man. The Sentinels, as we said before, backs to the wall. They needed something to turn their season around. This could be the game to do it. A lot of crazy upsets that we've seen, too. A week ago, We saw Prout defeat LaSalle 3-2 in overtime, and a lot of other crazy upsets. Could this be one of them? The Hawks might have an answer. The pass over that time to Penachini, and it's back up to center and dumped back in. And we get called icing with 5:13 to go in this first period. Smithfield leading 1-0 off the back of the 9 of Chase Rinker. Hawks looking to answer back to the near boards as we're back in the action. This one going behind net. Carrera giving it off to LaRose. At the top for Carter. This one bouncing off of Bradley. Wrapped around the backboards. LaRose back to Carter. Over that time for Smith, who had to extend a bit. And the Sentinels send it in the opposite way. Carter up to center. It passes through the wickets of Mercurio to Payne. And now Lombardi up to center that time for Hawkins. Hawkins entering the zone. A chance right on goal and the save. 4:31 to go. On that far side board. Crane over to Penachini. Penachini dumps it in the corner. Looking for a maneuver. He gets it up to Crane at the point, deflected by Mercurio. Mercurio trying to chase this one down quickly. And a wise move that time from Nebus to put the glove down and stop the play from ever reaching his net. 4:01 to go in the first, and Smithfield looks like a completely different team this week. And tonight, for that matter. Off the face-off. In the near side. That time it's Marshall. Sending it up ice. It's taken away that time from Hayden, and he dumps it back in. Grislis over to Penachini at center. Shuffled from Hughes to his teammate Regine. Nick Regine trying to navigate in front of Bradley. Bradley, fortunately, didn't see any extension on the stick and was right there to make the stop. And Smithfield trying to trap the puck down. And it stays on offside. So the Sentinels will take possession with the dump in and get a line change going. Marshall taking it up for the Hawks over to Penachini. Aiden Penachini with the dump in. Payne the first to meet it as he caught it through the air, and he sends it over that time to the 7 of Van Gordon. Another dump in and an icing. 2:59 to go in period number 1. Off the face-off. It's wrapped around to the far side boards. Rinker trying to make a key defensive play, but the peskiness of Kalari keeps the puck in play for the Hawks. And a chance right in front. This one bounced right off of the defender. And Rinker trying to send it up to center, and the Sentinels clear it. Kalari that time to Smith. And Crane. Griffin Crane gives it off. Sent all the way across ice. A shot bouncing off of Bradley. That one coming from Frank Tillinghast. And at center, Rinker trying to chase the puck down. More line changes for both sides. Smith behind the cage. Sending it up ice that time to the 5 of Lombardi. A good chance, a 2-on-1 shot over Bradley. And off to the left side. LaRose trying to make a move. Carter at center. Getting a little tied up. LaRose will shepherd it back in. John LaRose beats 2 defenders out to gain possession of the puck, and it's wrapped around to the far side. Goff can't clear the puck to center. Panichini dumps it back in that time for Carrera. Carrera right in front of Bradley, another save. At the top shelf, Panichini sends one down, deflecting off defenders. Another one coming down, off of Bradley's glove that time from Owen Carter, and the Sentinels clear the puck. However, they'll see it back in their own territory off of the icing call. And off the face-off. Payne trying to clear the puck to center. A good chance that time for Smith. Smith down ice to Crane. Griffin Crane. Under a minute to go. The Hawks trying to take a chance late. Tillinghast sends one down. Back of the net. Shot, score. Hawks tie it up. Give credit to the goal off the deflection to the 3 of Griffin Crane. A shot from the top of the zone off the 23 of Frank Tillinghast. And the Hawks knot things up with just little time left in this first period. We're all knotted up at 1 apiece. That's center. The face-off taken by the Hawks. This one over to Panichini. Towards center for LaRose. John LaRose shuffling across for Carrera. Right in front! Another chance! Nearly sneaking through the 5-hole of Bradley. Wow. Big gasp that you could have heard from that visiting crowd. LaRose nearly taken away that time from the 23 of Jackson Villani. Smithfield trying to do something late. The first shot, score! Smithfield answers back. We might be in for a thriller, ladies and gentlemen. Give credit to the goal of the 18 of Jacob Boudreau, and Smithfield is back in it, taking the lead again. 2-1 the score. As these Hawks and Sentinels will deke and dunk it out. For the next 30 minutes or so in this matchup. Off the face-off. In front of the visiting bench. A lot of snow picking up there as Regine will take it in. Or excuse me, Hughes. Being checked into the boards. Only 10 seconds to go in the first period. Hawks trying to sneak one in. And they won't do so as the first period concludes. Smithfield leading Bishop Hendricken 2-1 after 1. We'll take a commercial break briefly and be back for the start of the second period right here on Fans Only Sports Network. The ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score! The handball shot, off the post, score!
Goes by a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
The ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Comes in, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown. Back at center ice, back for another 15 minutes of play. Hawks take it off the faceoff and the dump in. Hawks trying to rebuttal after trailing by 1. Early in the game, they rebuttaled off a score. And now they trail by 1 once again. Payne taking it up center. Matt Payne through center ice. Payne delivers a shot that bounces right off of Nebus. And at center, Mercurio taking away that time off the 27 of Carlari. At the top of the zone, Panichini. And it's poked back up. Nope. Crane delivers a slap shot that hits a couple of players that fall to the floor, and it's sent back the other way. Tillinghast up to Panichini. Panichini dumps it in. Behind the net to meet is Van Gordon. Over the far side for Pasha. Taken away that time by the 26 of Nardelli. Steve Nardelli to Panichini at the top. Back to Nardelli. It's taken away by Boudreau, and it's wrapped around for Pasha. Escaping the blue line. Boudreau trying to get behind Tillinghast to take the puck away. They're all tied up trying to move the puck, and it's dumped in. Nebus with the stop. And another one coming down off the defenders, and Smithfield going to have to get back on side. All the way across ice to Rinker. Rinker losing possession as Panichini takes the displaced puck and sends it to Tillinghast. Getting tied up that time is Nardelli, and at center, Boscia. He'll dump it in for a Hawks line change. Bradley setting up Sylvester. Up at center, Panichini. He'll dump it back in. Carrera, and now Ferreira. Right in front, Boudreau was there to defend. LaRose trying to set up Carrera, and it's cleared. Nebus to swipe the puck away as there was a near opportunity that time for Gianno Mielo to make a shot on net. Couldn't take the opportunity. Defenders shadowed the play perfectly. My goodness, couldn't get that sentence out. LaRose, a chance shot, score! And the Hawks answer back again. Credit of the goal that time to the 4 of Andrew Smith. And the Hawks are back in the thick of things. 2-2 the score. With 12:15 to go in this second period of action here from Smithfield Municipal Ice Rink. It's a very tightly and contested matchup so far. Off the faceoff, Sylvester. Shifting it for Mercurio. Mercurio to lead a man, but Grislis is there for the Hawks. Grislis across ice. And a little too far on the pass. Icing going to be the call with 12 solid minutes to go in this second period. at the top. It's dumped back in. Front of the boards, Mercurio trying to poke the puck free. It's 3-on-1, and it's sent back up to the top of the zone. Sent back in by Hayden and brought up ice by the Hawks. Galari, a shot off of Bradley, deflected to the left-hand side. Hayden trying to lead a man as he's checked into the boards. No arms up by the officials, no penalty. Sylvester. He'll dump it in for Smithfield and head to the bench quickly as new skates come out. Back to center. And another icing called on the floor. Let's get a word from today's game sponsors. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Joseph Lammy, 696 Reservoir Ave in Cranston, Rhode Island. For consultation and information, visit josephlammy.com. Joseph Lammy, attorney at law. And then by RR Elite Recruits, with access to 3,000 schools and 80,000 coaches across 38 NCAA sports. For high school athletes looking to play at the next level, be seen by visiting RR Elite Recruits. Go to www.rreliterecruits.com to sign up for more information. 11:09 to go in the second, and we're all knotted up right away. Pasha tried to take a chance, and the defense was right there. Payne dumps it back in. Smith to meet it first behind the cage. It's intercepted nearly by Van Gordon, and Rinker pushed away from the boards that time, and it's sent all the way downhill, icing the call on the floor one more time. .47 left in the second, and then once again we're all knotted up at 2-2 between the Sentinels and the Hawks. Hawks maneuver the puck around the backboards, trying to navigate it back to center, and they do so. Luka Boscia. Boscia takes a shot at Bradley, and he'll make the save. There's a little bit of extracurriculars occur at the end of the play. So a penalty called against Smithfield. As that sends the 5 of Frank Lombardi to the box. And the Hawks shot immediately off of Bradley's face mask. And they keep the puck on side. Crane to Penachini. Crane to Penachini, who sends one down that time for the 19 of Regine. Shot right off of Bradley's pad. LaRose was in the vicinity to make the play in the slot. Crane sending it back that time over to Penachini from Regine. Crane, a chance shot, score! They tried it again and it worked. A power play goal for John LaRose and the Hawks. And for the first time tonight, Bishop Hendricken leads 3-2. It's just an excellent power play setup. A nice volley back and forth of the puck from north to south to east to west. And the Hawks send it through once again. Three to 2 with 9:56 to go, and Smithfield now back to full strength after the power play goal. Shuffled back for Carter. Now Smith back to Carter. Hawks trying to increase this lead as Marshall dumps it into the zone. The Hawks are a team that once they get the lead, they usually don't like to give it back. So for Smithfield, they're going to have to generate something. Getting caught off guard there. This one off of Bradley again. Another one in. Shot, score! As we said, you can't give them a lead like that and give credit of the goal to Nick Regine. to put the Hawks up now 4-2. And just like that, moments after the first goal, that was at 9:56, the Hawks increased the lead by 2. And a timeout called by Smithfield. So just like that, we came at a half by a score of 2-1. 3 unanswered goals puts the Hawks up over the Sentinels 4-2 with 9:31 to go in the second period. We'll take a brief break and be back after the timeout. In, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Comes in, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back.
Back after the timeout, as the Hawks took a 4-2 lead. They look to keep up the push that they are applying against this Sentinels unit. Sentinels need to push back. A good chance, a good setup for Sylvester, and he gets a little too tied up there. Delayed penalty called. A bunch of shoving on the floor, too, and the refs are going to finally call the play dead. More extracurriculars occurring in that near left corner, excuse me. And immediately skating to the box is the 27 of Gianno Maiello, and then the 23 of Frank Tillinghast. They'll both be in the penalty box for roughing. But the penalty will be applied against Smithfield by the looks of it. The referees are going to talk this over. So it's actually just going to be a penalty for roughing against Frank Tillinghast. So Smithfield will go on the power play advantage as soon as our scorekeeper will apply the time to the clock. So the Hawks will go on the PK, Smithfield go on the power play, as the Hawks were the instigators. Off the rip. Coming back to center. LaRose trying to shepherd it across ice. And here comes Hawkins through center. Hawkins, it's poked away that time. A great poke check from the 26 of Steve Nardelli. Some good movement by LaRose. Nardelli trying to take a chance. LaRose keeping it in the zone for the Hawks. Wasting some more time. Under a minute and a half to go on the power play. And Smithfield can't even gain possession of this puck. Rinker, Goff was unable to see it. It deflects off the skates, and the Hawks take full advantage with a clear. That time for Rinker. Getting it to Mercurio, getting tied up, and it'll come back the other way. A minute remains on the power play, and Smithfield still hasn't had a shot on goal. Sylvester sets up Payne, leading him too much, and some Sentinels get tied up at center, and the Hawks take advantage once again with the dump in. And they'll get a change as well. Sylvester across ice for Pasha. Intercepted and dumped in by Nate Marshall. Sylvester, under 30 seconds to go on the penalty. Needing to make haste. Up at center, deflected away again by Carrera. Grislis clearing it again for the Hawks. The Hawks will change lines one more time. Cross ice for Van Gordon. Van Gordon up to center, intercepted by Crane, and the power play will end unceremoniously. As the Hawks get back to full strength, this one off of Bradley. A hard shot to the face mask and a huge check, and that's going to be a penalty. Moments after getting off the power play, getting off the penalty kill, the Hawks are going to have to do it all over again with another rough. So Smithfield really needs to take advantage of these 2 minutes that they're being given. With only 7 minutes to go in this second period, they need an answer before we hit the third. And now the face-off. Smithfield with a chance to get something going. Behind the head of the net of Nebus, Goff will send it around that time for Sylvester, and Devin Exter will clear it the opposite way. Bradley will let Rinker send it behind the back. Hawkins giving it off. Back to Hawkins. Will Hawkins, nearly getting a little tangled up. Hawkins will take it through center ice. Hawkins behind the cage. Under a minute and a half to go. Across ice to Sylvester, who takes a chance off of Nebus and net. Down ice. Back to Hawkins. At the point for Rinker. Back to Hawkins. Hawkins to Rinker. Rinker takes the chance, and it's deflected away by the defense. Mercurio to Hawkins. All the way across for Sylvester, bouncing off of Nebus. And another chance right in front for Goff, and it's deflected away one more time. Sylvester, under a minute to go on the power play. Smithfield showing strong push. Hawkins takes a chance. It's deflected away by Nebus and net. Sylvester to Rinker. Rinker at the point. It's deflected off the defender, and the Hawks clear it. Moments after a volley of shots came at their goaltender. And the Sentinels will try again. Rinker. Rinker getting tangled up. Nebus to give it off that time. As the Hawks are back to full strength. Crane came right out of the box. Ready to go. Griffin Crane right in front. Shot, score! Call his name. He took the punishment, and he delivered a punishment to add the 5th goal for this Hawks lead. Griffin Crane soaring right out of the penalty box for the Hawks, and they increase the lead to 5-2. And the Hawks will dump it back in. Van Gordon, the first to meet it for Smithfield. Taken behind the net and sent the opposite way. At the top that time for Smith. And taken away by Cavanaugh. Cavanaugh that time to Caleri, excuse me. And Smith dumps it back in. Caleri trying to get ahead of Payne. Cutting it back to center. Leading that time the 23 of Jacksonville Lonnie, and we'll get a whistle to stop the play. Offside's the call. Just about 4 minutes to go. And Smithfield trailing by 3 after 4 unanswered goals have been added on by Bishop Hendricken. This one behind the net. Over that time to Tillinghast. Up to center. Goff couldn't trap the puck down. Ferreira across the blue line. Trying to get set. This one off of Bradley. Another one in front. Shot, score again. And they're going to wave the goal off, in fact. So the goal called no good. Or no, they will call it good. Hendricken with the score. Very weird set of events, but no goal. Scorekeeper messing me up on what's going on here. So still 5-2, and we'll face off back in the other end. It's a big break for Smithfield. It's the break they needed. Likely that goal would have put the game out of reach. Gordon trying to chase this down, and we get a whistle for icing. We'll do it all over again with 3:36 to go. Let's get a word from our sponsors at Precision Home Lending.
Want to close your home purchase or refinance faster? Contact me, David Delbonis, at 401-487-7379, President Precision Home Lending. Trust the experts and we'll make your loan experience amazing.
Back in the saddle. Hughes up to center. Getting it past Van Gordon and Rinker. The puck dumped into the zone that time for Smith. Over that time to Giuliano. Rinker sends it right at Nubis in the net. And another whistle. Believe offsides was the call on the floor. .310 to go, and we'll come back to neutral ice. Sent ahead for Crane to try and get a set up, and we'll get another whistle. Very delayed offsides called as this one's dumped in ahead of Kavanaugh. Taken away by Hayden. Hayden using the backboards to get it for Boudreau. Boudreau corralled into the boards by Grislis. He's trying to shuffle the puck free. And up at the top of the zone, Crane sends one over the top of the net. Coming back to the near side. And dumped in. And we'll get another icing call. 2.5 to go. Around the back of the net for Smith. Sent down off to that left side. Mercurio, and it's taken away by Exter, and Bradley will glove it up cleanly. 2:16 to go. Score 5-2 as the Hawks really added on a ton of goals in this period. 4 unanswered once again. Behind the net, back up to center, and it's dumped in. Van Gordon. He'll send it all the way down, and we'll do it all over again. Icing. Let's get another word from today's game sponsors. Today's game is brought to you in part by Joseph Lammy, 696 Reservoir Ave in Cranston, Rhode Island. For consultation and information, visit josephlammy.com. Joseph Lammy, attorney at law. And then by RR Elite Recruits, with access to 3,000 schools and 80,000 coaches across 38 NCAA sports. For high school athletes looking to play at the next level, be seen by going to RR Elite Recruits. Visit www.rreliterecruits.com to sign up for more information. In that far corner, wrapped around the backside of the net that time as Hawkins will meet it. Hawkins doing a little spin move. Goff, chance, shot, deflected away off of the pads of Bradley. Penachini took a chance. Smithfield looking to kill more of this time off. Kavanaugh. Correction on Kavanaugh. Puck's displaced as Crane tries to come in and help, but Goff will take it away for the Sentinels. Leading Mercurio, breakaway try, and a great save in the pads by Braden Nebis. Wow. That was the opportunity the Sentinels need to crawl back into this one, but Braden Nebis did not blink. 1:20 to go. Behind the net, coming back to the near side that time as Carrera meets it. Gives it off to Ferreira. Ferreira trying to lead Tillinghast a bit. And in that far corner. And it'll go back around to the other side for Hayden. Under a minute to go. Trying to get something set. Hawks to the top for Carter. Off of Bradley. And another save. Smith can't poke it in cleanly. And a Sentinel gets a little tripped up. Carter trying to play some keep away. A chance and a shot. A little slow from Hopkins. And we're just about under 20 to go. Carrera. They'll dump it right back to Bradley. Back up to center. Rinker shuffles it across ice. Grislis to meet it. And Blakely Grislis, he'll send it up to center. But that'll do it for 2 periods of action here from Smithfield Municipal Ice Rink. 5-2 is the score after 2 periods. The Hawks added 4 unanswered goals in the second period alone and are really looking to finish this one off strong for their 3rd straight win. So we'll take a step aside while that Zamboni works its magic on the surface and be back for the conclusion of this one right here on Fans Only Sports Network. Score 5-2 after 2 periods of play as the Bishop Hendricken Hawks lead the Smithfield Sentinels 5-2. We'll be right back. The ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Comes in, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
The ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across
for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
in, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That a touchdown!
And oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Comes in, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we are about to write the final conclusion of this one. Score after 5-2 between the Bishop Hendricken Hawks and the Smithfield Sentinels as we kick off, or in this case, drop the puck on the third period of action. And once again, we'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to each and one of our live stream broadcasts here on Fans Only Sports Network. Plenty of more to come as the hockey season continues here in full stride. And with that, we are underway in the third period of action. Hawks take the face-off and patrol back to center ice with the dump in towards Bradley. Van Gordon shuffles it up to center. It's poked back into the zone. Trying to send one at Bradley, and he'll opt to glove that one up cleanly as Kavanaugh took a chance. It's been tough sledding, I should say, for these Sentinels, as they just have been doing everything they can to stay alive, but a lot of this energy has been sucked right out of them, right off the face-off. A shot into the protective netting, out of play. 14:33 to go. So we'll face off again, or no, we'll just do it again. Kavanaugh sends it up top for Panacchini. Down to Crane. Across ice, kept in onside by Tillinghast. A chance off the rebound, and ultimately a save. Hawkins crossing that blue line, and the Hawks send it back up to center. Lombardi with the extension. He'll send it right there on Nebus. And Panacchini sending it over for Tillinghast. Back up towards center. That time Caleri. Crane wasn't ready for it. The puck became displaced. And off to the near side. Goff giving it up for Hawkins through center. A nice deke. Hawkins. Behind the back for Mercurio. Mercurio right on point, but deflected away. And this one hits the ceiling to stop play with 13:34 to go. Let's get one final word from tonight's game sponsors. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Joseph Lammy, 696 Reservoir Ave in Cranston, Rhode Island. For consultation and information, visit josephlammy.com. Joseph Lammy, attorney at law. And then by RR Elite Recruits, with access to 3,000 schools and 80,000 coaches across 38 NCAA sports. For high school athletes looking to play at the next level, be seen by visiting RR Elite Recruits. Go to www.rreliterecruits.com to sign for more information. And with that, we're back into the game action. Marshall gets a little tied up by Rinker, and Regine comes in to assist. Nick Regine through center ice. Regine getting a little tied up. He sends it behind the net for Hughes. Hughes having to chase it down quickly. But it'll be taken away by Hayden. Hayden with the dump in. Off the back, and it'll go the opposite way for Smith. At center. Sent over to Sylvester, and he dumps it in. Deflecting off of Nebis. In that near corner. A chance right up front. That shot, a little wide. Sylvester slammed into the boards by Regine. And through center, Carrera. James Carrera trying to navigate around. Great move by the defense. Right on Bradley, and Bradley's going to come out of the box and glove the net. Glove the puck down cleanly right in front of the net. There's a little bit of extracurriculars were occurring on that play. Now that's how it's done. That's how it's done. Always have slight problems every so often here at Smithfield with spectators, but that time, tip of the cap to that man. He ducked beneath our camera. It's not that we don't mind putting you on camera, it's just I'm sure the viewers at home would like to view what's going on in the action. In front of the boards. Taken away by the Hawks. Penachini sends one down off of Bradley, off to the left. Still in play for LaRose. To Penachini. Back down to LaRose. John LaRose has it poked away by Sylvester, and he slams him to the floor. Sylvester able to rebound and get it to Rinker. Rinker losing his footing. LaRose will take the puck away again. He's slammed into the boards that time. Across ice. This game getting a lot more physical towards the end of things, as Rinker slammed into the boards that time by Ferreira. Poked away by Boudreau. Right in front of the home bench, and the Hawks will dump it back in. Both sides will change lines. Bradley stopping it for Sylvester. Sylvester gets it away quickly, but it stays in the Smithfield side of the ice. Another hard check. This one shuffled up front. A chance, shot wide of the left as that one came down hard from Carter. Right in front, shot deflecting off Bradley, making another tremendous save. Make it 2 for 2. And in that corner, a little wrap around behind the cage, back to the near. Payne. It's poked away from Payne. And the Hawks will take it in their own end, up towards center. Gets around Van Gordon. Good movement that time by Nardelli. Nardelli getting tied up by Smithfield defenders. And Bradley has the puck poked away from him. Mercurio shuffles it to Van Gordon. Van Gordon through center. Behind for Hawkins, leading him a little too far, and the defense comes up and a hard hit one more time. Hawkins back on his feet. Hawkins dekes in. A poke check that keeps the puck out of reach. Carter around to the near for Tillinghast. Tillinghast up to center. Boscia. He'll dump this one in. That one to Van Gordon. Van Gordon up to center for Regine. Regine entering the zone. Nick Regine backhands. Another one off the rebound. And Nebis, I don't know how he came up with that. But wow, another great save in the net. He's only given up 2 goals tonight. Both of those came in the first period. Ever since then, he's been rock solid in that net. Wrapped around to that far board. Shuffling across ice at center, and it's dumped in by Kavanaugh. Crane. Chance shot as Kavanaugh took a wrister right there, and the Hawks keep it in play. Crane back up for Giuliano, and Giuliano, he'll opt to dump it back in to get the Hawks onside. Sylvester poked up to center, and the Sentinels got a little confused there as that time Villani wasn't sure if he could take the puck. Kavanaugh taking it away for the Hawks again. Kavanaugh getting checked in the process. LaRose leaving it off. And the Sentinels, that was a very risky play. Villani up to center. This one dumped in. Panichini. Aiden Panichini up that time to Carrera. Carrera getting tied up as he's brought to the floor. Payne getting the puck poked away from him. Van Gordon there to assist. Van Gordon giving it to Rinker. LaRose takes it away, giving it off to Grislis. And he'll in turn give it to Panichini. Hawks are doing everything they can to just chip the game away time-wise, and some shoving going up in center. Carrera and Hopkins both going at it. And they're going to call it against the 11 of James Carrera. This game has gone very physical, and now even Hopkins is going to the box. So Jacob Hopkins and James Carrera will each serve for their extracurriculars. With 8:03 to go in the second, we'll face off back at center where the roughing occurred. Mercurio back that time over for Lombardi, and it's cleared by Sylvester at center and dumped in. Tillinghast trying to get around a couple of Sentinels there to meet him, and they'll pass it up ice. Lombardi to Sylvester. Sylvester to Goff. Goff through center. Right in front of the boards. Lombardi. Marshall getting a little tied up himself. A shot coming down, bouncing off of Bradley. And the Hawks keep it in the zone. Displaced puck chance, and another save. Off the stick side. A wind-up for Tillinghast, another save. On the near side board, Villani up to center. Marshall leading behind for Tillinghast a little too much. And sent back the other way. Icing. Your call on the floor. 6:46 to go in regulation. Sentinels up at center. Giving off to Villani. Villani takes a chance. Nebus will glove that one up. Right in the stomach. Smith. That was a big chance right in front of the net. Exter. Hawks struggling to clear this puck in this sequence. Villani, and now taken away. Back to the near. A little ahead that time for Nardelli. And Sentinels send it back the other way. Another one. Exter And coming back to the Hawks side of the ice with 5:48 to go in this third period. We'll likely see Matt Bradley get pulled at some point, but who knows, maybe not at all based on the differential of the score. It's already lopsided enough as it is. The Sentinels would need to get a score quickly within these next few minutes in order to really consider pulling him. Mercurio across ice that time to the aid of Hayden. Up against the boards, Goff. Taken away by Crane. Griffin Crane, whistle dead. As it looks like we're going to get a hold. And the hold is going to be charged to Bishop Hendricken as Blakely Grislis will get a 2-minute minor for holding. Bradley. So Matt Bradley officially been pulled with 5.5 to go as the Hawks are on the PK. Stopping at the line is Sylvester. This is a bold move by the Sentinels coaching staff. Sending one down, it deflects off his own skater. Rinker at the point. Down that time to Hawkins. Rinker to Sylvester. Across ice, back to Hawkins. Sylvester takes a chance, and it deflects off to the left, off the defense. Goff. Hawkins. Sylvester. Rinker winds up for the slap shot as Boscia was right in the vicinity to block the shot. Smithfield still with an empty net, and this one was all the way back down for a clear. Hawkins across for Rinker, and Marshall, nearly got himself a chance to get an empty netter. Boudreau leading a man way too much, and the Hawks dump it back in for another clear. In the corner, Carrera trying to gain separation. Marshall waiting in the back for it, trying to send it behind the back, and Payne comes up with it. Payne crossing it in, and we're going to get an icing call. Bradley going to have to come back out on the ice. "39 seconds to go on the power play as Bradley skates back out, so back to 5 skaters for now. But you got to think pretty soon they'll pull them again if they can get the puck out of their own end. 4 minutes to go, and the Sentinels are really getting desperate here. This one kicked back to center, and the Hawks will dump it back in for another clear. Payne. Payne with the pass. And the puck will come back down to Bradley. Bradley was waiting very patiently to be called off, but the Sentinels coaching staff opted to not do anything. At center, across ice, poked in again. This one off of Bradley. Nearly a rebound attempt. As that time it was Carter who tried to make the play occur. Back to center, all the way back to Bradley, called icing. And off the face-off. This one across. Trying to get it set in front of Nebus. And another icing. 3:05 to go. So the Hawks put up a very spectacular performance throughout the night. And they have just dominated all facets of the game ever since the end of that first. This is a team, as we've said, that shot going right off of Nebus. This is a team that once it finds itself in the driver's seat, they just put the pedal to the metal, and they just never look back. It's a very well-coached unit, and a unit that's definitely worthy of going back-to-back potentially in the state championship. We saw them do it last year against East Greenwich in a 2-0 win of the series, but this year things will be a little bit different. School committees voted 9-3 on a Frozen Four style playoff picture in which the quarterfinals will have a best out of 3 series, but semifinals and the final, the championship game, will all be one-game sudden death series. So a very interesting way, and it'll give a lot of teams a big chance to get back in. Payne was removed from the goal. Payne's the one chasing the puck. Bradley removed from the goal in an effort to get a goal back. Smithfield with 6 skaters out. Around the backside, taken away by Hawkins. And shuffling past Goff at center. It's dumped back in. Taken away by Hayden. Tom Hayden to Payne. Matt Payne cuts back as he had 2 skaters on his tail. Payne up to Pasha. No Mercurio. Hawkins, the puck was right behind him. And the Hawks are going to try and shoot this one from way downtown. And sent back over for Hayden. And at center, Panichini. Ooh, nearly hitting the net was Kavanaugh. But they'll try a shot there, and Rasheen can't even find the opening. The defense been plugging the holes up well, but they haven't been able to produce anything offensively. Goff to stop it down. Mercurio has to backtrack for the puck. And he'll flip it behind the back for Sylvester. Cross ice, dumped in behind the net of Nebus. Panichini to Shepard, giving it off to Marshall. Marshall to the near side board. And poked away Sylvester. Great job extending the stick. With under a minute to go, the hopes of a comeback are slowly but surely dwindling, and the Hawks will be able to move on to their 3rd straight win of the season. Oh, Sylvester with another stop as that puck nearly escaped his clutches going into the net. At center, Rinker. And another one coming down off of the defense. This one shuffled back to center. He's going to have to chase this one down quickly. Sylvester gets it out just in time. And icing going to be the call with 26 seconds to go in the 3rd and final period of action. This is a tough pill for Smithfield to swallow. They got a very much needed win last week and had a lead at the end of that first period. But the Hawks proved they were them and came into this one and just dominated from start to finish. Another chance right in front to finish this one off, and the Sentinels defense right there. Another one coming down. That time that was the 26 of Steve Nardelli back to back. And it bounces off the defenders into that end, and that will do it for this one. Final score of the game, 5-2. The Hawks put up 4 unanswered goals in that second period, and the score remains stagnant through the 3rd. Sentinels lose another one on the season. The Blues continue in Smithfield this year. It's just been a tough year for them all along. And for the Hawks, they add their 3rd straight win and continue to push for that number 1 seed in Division I hockey here in the state of Rhode Island. And that will do it for us right here on Fans Only Sports Network. It's been a crazy weekend. We still have a couple more games tomorrow. But thank you all for tuning into the broadcast. It's been a wild one. We still got another wild couple of weeks to come as this hockey season is at the peak of intensity and we'll be there to guide you all through it. Thank you all for tuning into the broadcast tonight. I'm Chris E2 calling the plays. We'll catch you all on the next broadcast right here on Fans Only Sports Network. Have a great night, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.